Happy Sabbath to all my fellow Jews out there. This is the Lord's Day, the seventh day. And the subject today is about Tishri 1, Sabbaths, persecution, and the term generations. Yes, Tishri 1, the Feast of Trumpets, September 23rd, 2025. Now, this is not merely a date on the calendar. No, it is one of God's rhythms, like the heartbeat of eternity, a Sabbath, a time set apart, not invented by man, but breathed into being by the Creator himself. If you read Exodus 31, he says, "The Sabbath is forever, generations upon generations." And when God says generations, he doesn't mean a few decades or a family line. He means the entire human story, stretched across thousands of years. Ezekiel echoes it. The Sabbath is a sign between God and his people forever. Still binding, still pulsing, still alive in Ezekiel's day and in ours. So when we arrive at Tishri 1, the Feast of Trumpets, we are not merely reenacting some ancient custom. We are stepping into eternity's rhythm. But here's where things get strange. Very early on, disciples of the apostles themselves began to drift. Ignatius, ironically a student of the Apostle John, writes that we no longer observe the Sabbath, but live in the Lord's day. Imagine that. John himself faithfully kept Sabbaths and feasts, yet his own student chose another path. Another student of his, Polycarp, remained faithful, but Ignatius, well, he had ideas of his own. And then came Eusebius, the historian of martyrs. His pages drip with death. Martyrdom, paraded as proof of authenticity, a kind of spectacle, not unlike the news today, where suffering is broadcast to gain legitimacy. But remember this, persecution in itself is no validation. Every religion has martyrs. If persecution proves truth, then all religions are true. Now, persecution is wrong. It is cruel. But it does not make one holy. Yeshua himself promised protection to the faithful in Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10, and tribulation for the unfaithful in Revelation chapter 2 verse 22. Notice how opposite this is from Christianity's death cult. They exalt suffering as though pain were proof, but Yeshua, he offers life, protection, salvation. Even the apostles cherished life. They did not march eagerly toward martyrdom. They hid, they ran, they fled when arrest was near. Only when capture was inevitable did God grant them strength to glorify his name in death. Faith was never about seeking torture. It was about safeguarding life. So let us consider a scenario. A murderer comes for your child. She is hidden in the basement. The knock comes. Is she here? What do you say? Of course you deny it, and rightly so. Even Jacob deceived his father Isaac, and God blessed him, renamed him Israel. Why? Because it was the right thing to do. Fast forward to the last days. Believers are hidden in your home. Authorities arrive. Are there followers of Yeshua here? What do you answer? This is not cowardice. This is wisdom. This is righteousness. But you see, Christians have twisted much. Their greatest distortion was convincing the world that God's Sabbaths and feasts no longer matter, that his Torah is obsolete, that his eternal rhythms have somehow expired. But Yeshua, the true Jew, kept them all. He celebrated the feasts. He honored the Sabbaths. He embraced the Torah. And so do we, because we love life, and life belongs to God who created it, who sustains it, and who promises it eternally. Now, about the curious phrase, "This generation shall not pass away." Which generation? When we read Matthew 24, Mark 13, Luke 21, the answer becomes clear as day. It is the generation of deceivers, the false Christs, the false prophets, the ones who whisper, "The law no longer matters. Forget the Sabbath, forget the feasts." This is the generation he warned us of, the deceivers, and they have endured from the first century until now. John said it, 1 John 2:18, "Even now there are many antichrists." Paul said, "The man of lawlessness is already at work." Apostasy began early, and it has not ceased. But here's the irony. God's laws are not burdensome. They are easy. Think of it. The Sabbath, do no work, rest, relax, pray, speak of God's promises. What could be simpler? It takes a true deceiver to convince people that rest is somehow evil. Man enslaves you to endless labor. God commands you to breathe. Man demands control. God offers choice. Man grinds you down. God refreshes you. Do you see? God is the perfect opposite of man. And so, when Tishri 1 arrives, we are not merely observing tradition. We are stepping into the timeless rhythm of eternity, into the sign between God and his people, into life itself. Because to love the Sabbath, to love God's feasts, is to love life. And to love life is to love the one who gave it. Shalom, shalom.